Hey, welcome to the Melvin Live Show. And today we're going to take a little bit of a different format here. Uh, for one thing, the angle, the camera angle, it's slightly different. So that's one. And number two, it's that I am actually broadcasting live simultaneously to several places. So, for example, I am going live on Facebook, YouTube, um, my own Facebook page, as well as LinkedIn. So, for those of you who are watching, make sure you know, um, make sure you say hi in the chat itself and let me know where you're watching this from. And all this is made possible because I just decided to give Restream a a try because the other day I was really looking forward to being able to do, live stream in a way that it's more professional. And so I, I want to see what works and what doesn't work itself. So if you're watching, please drop by, say hi, leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from. So today is episode 210, which means for those of you who haven't been following me, what's going on is that I have been consistently doing a live show every day for the last 210 days. Well, there was just exception one day itself that I wasn't able to do it, and the reason why I wasn't able to do it was because for some reason that day I was sick, and I really didn't have the energy nor the ability to do a live show. But other than that one day, right? Other than that one day, I have not missed a single day in terms of the live stream. So, what's this live stream all about? Well, number one is that it all started in the May of this year, and as COVID year, right? So, what I wanted to do was that I wanted to, I was we were all under lockdown, right? So I wanted to do something with what I have, and so I decided that hey, maybe I should, do a live stream, and maybe I could do one every day, right? So that was the plan, right? And that was the plan, and so I kind of challenged myself to do one every day, and I was saying that, well, maybe I gave myself an out. So I said maybe I could stop um, when the lockdown has been eased, right? And so I think it was in July, the lockdown was eased, and and so I went back to doing my regular work. But then this whole live stream thing seems to have, giving me a new outlet for expression. And so I decided to continue with that. And of course, after that, it became something that I enjoyed doing. Not something that is just to check a box off, but it was something that I really enjoyed doing. And so in the process itself, I want to see, what is the best format that I could do this. So I've been experimenting lots with it. And if you have tried, um, live streaming itself, leave a comment, right? Leave a comment. Let me know where exactly have you been live streaming. Do you do live stream on Facebook? Do you do live stream on LinkedIn? Or do you do live stream on YouTube only? Let me know in the comments, right? Because, and if you will, if you have been doing live stream, also let me know, like, what is the link that we could see your video itself. All right, so let's get to today's topic. Is right. So every day, what I do is I share a lesson that I learned while building this one person, 1 million all digital business. So the whole premise behind this is that, I've been trading time for money for many years now. Although it has been a lucrative trade for me, um, I still feel that there's something that is missing. There is something that, I could that there could be a better way to earn a living itself. So what I really wanted to do was that I embark on this journey to identify, right? Like what is the best way to actually earn money and not have to trade time for that, right? And so I went on this journey. I started, blogging. I started writing newsletter. I started podcasting. I've tried just about anything that someone says that you could potentially make some money on the internet. So I tried just about everything, affiliate marketing, everything. But nothing kind of stuck with me. Although with each of the platforms that I launch, I learned a great deal out of it. So that is the key thing, right? Because with every experiment itself, if you kind of know what is the outcome, then actually that's not quite an experiment because you already know what the outcome is. So I didn't quite know what the outcome is going to be like. Although I have some objective in mind, I was kind of like expecting that. Okay, I think this is what it's going to be. Um, but along the way, it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to. But I learned a great deal, right? And so, it's they say that a crisis is a waste if you do not learn anything from it. And so, definitely, I learned a lot from all these different platforms, in terms of creating content. And so, in 2018, I decided to make a bunch of videos on LinkedIn, and that was when things started to get interesting, and that was when things started taking off. And so 2018 was great. I was connecting with lots of people on LinkedIn, especially. It was just phenomenal, am I right? I mean, the whole LinkedIn community was just so supportive. And in 2019, I was really, enjoying the fruits of my labor of what I put in 2018. I was getting projects. I was getting, consulting projects. I was getting speaking gigs. I was getting training projects. I was getting private clients. The works. I then began to do quite a fair bit of work in that in that area itself. And then um, I ended 2019 with a bang, and I said to myself, like, wow, 2020 is going to be, really really exciting. And oh, hi, Claren. How are you doing? Right. Um, you know, if by the way, if you want to check out how to make your LinkedIn shine, Claren, it's the one to go to, right? She is the go-to person for that. She even wrote a book about how to shine online, right, Claren? Um, Claren, if you are watching, please, leave a link to your book. People will be more than glad to check that out. So check out her book, and check out her profile itself. She's cool. So yeah, I was saying, right, like in 20, I was excited about 2020. So 2020 started off with a bang, but soon COVID started kicking in, um and things kind of take a dramatic turn. And that was when I realized that, hey, the model or the way that we kind of do business isn't quite the way that we know it anymore. And the good thing for me was that I've been working from home for many years, and it was something that I'm familiar with. It's something that I'm comfortable with. And also the other thing was that I was really, comfortable delivering via live cam. And so, like, in this, people tell me that um, when they are speaking into the camera, they kind of feel that it's a little weird because it's like they're talking to themselves. And they ask me, like, how do I do it? And my answer to that is actually very simple. What I do is essentially I look at the camera and imagine that I'm talking to a particular friend, and I'm just sharing with my friend. And you know, with a friend, you want the best for your friend, right? So you will share all your tips and strategies with your friend. And so that's how it is, right? That's how it is. Um, oh, yeah, of course, I got featured at the back of your book, right? That was so cool and so honored to be featured, Clarence. Thank you so much, right? So, by the way, like, if you are on any of this platform and you're watching this, let me know in the comments, right? Like, how comfortable are you in doing live video? So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you? One is that no way in hell am I going to do it. 10 is like, any day, man. Just flip on the camera and I'm just going to do it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how comfortable are you in doing live video. Now back to the story itself is that I was uh, taking the transition from offline to online into virtual learning with a lot of ease, because I was really, it was something that I do and I'm really comfortable in front of the camera. And so it was something that I was just so, it was natural for me, right? I wouldn't say that I am the best or I am so good at it, but it's something that it's natural for me. And besides, I was still learning and I'm still improving. So if you go back to my live stream, a day one or just week one itself, you will find that the video quality is atrocious. The audio was bad, the lighting was bad, right? But now compare the first few videos to what you see now, you will see the dramatic improvement, right? And I could talk all day about what kind of equipment that you can use. So, but let me know, right? Let me know if you have if you have gone live in the last week or so, right? Let me know. And if you have, please leave your um, link of your live video in the comments itself. All right. Right. So Clarence said that she's about 7. Um, you know, but so she's comfortable doing it on Facebook, but doing so on LinkedIn has been quite a bit of anxiety. But she said that I will launch my new LinkedIn live show soon. Wow, so if you haven't, you know, connect with Clarence, make sure you connect with her because she shares a great deal of, how you could bring your LinkedIn profile from meh to shining online, right? So she's the go-to person, definitely. Right. So back to the story itself was that I then decided that I want to do something because of the lockdown, and so that's when I dive deep into committing to do a one live stream every day since May. And what was really interesting was that in the process itself, I learned a great deal. Like with every project that I do, I learned a great deal, and then it started to hit me that there are some people who want to get on live, but they are not quite sure on what is the way to approach it, right? So some people go on live and they just talk about whatever they want to talk about. Now that's probably fine if you're Tom Cruise or you are the Kardashians, but if you're like me, I don't know if people is going to pay attention to me if I just talk about what I want to talk about. So, when I started doing that, I realized that hey, um, it's not going to be something that I want to talk about. So I definitely want to talk about something that my audience cares about, right? I want to be able to solve problem. I mean, I don't just want to create content. I want to be able to solve problems. And and that led me to this, dilemma, because then when I speak to some people and they're like, "Oh, just focus on the just focus on the topic, right? Just pick a topic and start talking about it." Then when I speak to other people, they say, "Well, start with the audience, right? Start with the people that you want to reach. Then you talk about something that they are interested in." And And that was when I got kind of stuck, because on the one hand, if you were to start with a topic, let's just say, for the sake of discussion here, let's just say you're talking about a topic of live streaming, right? You can talk to live streaming for people who are gamers, right? You can talk about live streaming for people who are professionals, and they want to be confident, they want to be able to project the right image for themselves. um and you know and then another group, it's you're talking to about small businesses, how they could leverage live videos to promote their products and their brand. And if you talk to these three groups of people, although the topic in general is still the same, it's live streaming, but your focus and your emphasis is going to be really, really different, right? Because if you speak to the small business part, right? If you speak to the small businesses, the live streaming is going to be anchored around how is it that they could use live stream as a way to reach the customers that they otherwise are missing out because of COVID, for example, right? And if you speak to people who are professionals and they want to be able to use live streaming to kind of enhance their personal brand, or to to showcase their talent, for example, right? That's going to be a very different approach from talking to the small businesses. And so, you know, very quickly I realized that just talking about a topic itself, um, it's not quite the right way to approach it. And so that's when I go with the other approach. I went with the audience approach, right? I say that, okay, I want to speak to people who are in the learning and development, right? And so I went on to LinkedIn and I, curate a list of people who are in learning and development, and I curate their feed on Sales Navigator, and I just follow them, right? So it becomes when I go into LinkedIn, I'm not going into the public facing LinkedIn, but I'm actually going into a highly curated one that it's only, that group of people that I want to pay attention to. And so that's when I decided to take that approach. And when I took that approach itself, something isn't quite right, because it's like, if you talk to this group of people, what exactly are you going to talk about? Are you going to be talking about, ed tech? Are you going to be talking about the tech in terms of learning, or are you going to be talking about, learning as in the topics that you want to talk about? So, it gets a bit confusing, right? It gets a bit confusing. And that's where it started me down this rabbit hole, and I think I found the answer. So, as I went through this rabbit hole itself, I came across a few online courses and online communities. And one of the online course that I would highly recommend that you check it out. It's the Unemployable Initiative by Brian Clark, right? And so that that unemployment unemployable initiative really dive deep into what you should be doing and what is the process of actually figuring out what to talk about, or what to curate, or what to create in terms of content. And so that's one place that you definitely want to check it out, right? Now, the other one that I found to be really, really interesting, it's this lady called Steph Smith. Now, she talks about something that is very, very similar to another guy. I just can't remember his name, but she talks about creating your own personal monopoly, right? Not a game, but creating your own personal monopoly, as in your key differentiating factor. And as I dive deep into her reading itself, um, I then found that there is actually a way to figure this out. So the question of whether should you go with the topic first or the audience first, both are correct and both are wrong at the same time. So the process to do it is the following. First, you start off with a topic, right? And the reason why you start off with the topic, it's because, like I mentioned earlier, a topic itself can be further segmented or can be further differentiated based on who you're talking to. So, if I were to go back to my example of live streaming for professionals and live streaming for small businesses, which one would you think would be more inclined to be willing to pay to solve their problem of live streaming? Obviously, it is going to be the small businesses because they are more likely to see the benefit of going live compared to the professional, right? And the professional, sometimes all they want is just to get a job, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's their focus, right? And so the thing behind that is that you start up with a topic, and then you slowly go down into looking at who do you want to speak to, right? So go with the topic, then decide on who exactly do you want to speak to. So this guy called Frank Kern, he gave a really, really good example, right? And the example is so simple that it's laughable. So he gave the example that if you are a florist, right? I mean, if you are a small business selling flowers and Valentine's Day is coming up, would you, right? Would you target the undergraduate, right? A college student, as you call it in America. We call it the undergraduate, right? Would you target the undergraduate or would you target someone who is in their 30s, have a bit more spending power, and yet at the same time being time poor, right? Which one would you focus on? Sure, you can focus on the college student, but the college student probably have a little bit more time to, shop around. And even if it means having to pick it up himself, just to get a discount, the college student might just do that. But if you focus on the person who is, in their late 20s or 30s, they are time poor, so they're just going to go on the internet, look for a few comparison very quickly. They would want to decide and say that, okay, I'm just going to pick this up, right? And so, which one is likely for you to make a better margin? Well, logically, it would be the the guy who is in his 20s or 30, for example, right? Because a bigger spending power, b time poor, and so as a result of that, they might trade convenience for they might trade a premium price for convenience, right? And so it's the same concept. In other words, the topic is the same, right? The product is the same, but the people that you target would be very different. And I found that to be really, really, you know, it's like an epiphany for me. It's like the light bulb just went off in my head. And this was where I decided that I want to make a video on this, because I think many of you, and many people I know, they struggle with that dilemma as well, right? Just like, for example, if you're going to be providing a LinkedIn profile makeover service, who would you target, right? I mean, would you target someone who is, looking for a job as a CEO, or are you going to target someone who has been unemployed for some time, struggling to find a job, and hoping, it's like, really hoping that the LinkedIn makeover is going to help them make a difference, you know and well, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but the group of people that you're going to choose is going to then determine the way that you position your content, right? And I hope this has been useful for you. If it has, let me know. If and tell me, what do you think, and tell me, which would you pick first, right? Is it going to be topic or audience, or does it make sense to you to go with topic first and then go down and figure out or flush out the particular group of people that you want to focus on? All right. So in any case, if you like to find out, like, how you could enhance your live stream, and how you could make the lighting a lot better, the video a lot better, the audio a lot better, drop me a note, send me an email, shoot me a DM. And most importantly, if you're watching this from any platform, make sure you go there and you hit the like button. And if you are by any chance discovering this video organically, well, then decide for yourself if this is something that you would want to get regularly in your feed, because I'm going to be talking about the lessons that I learned in building a one person 1 million all digital business, right? That's the goal I'm working towards. So the thing behind this is that, oh, you're most welcome, Claren. I'm glad that it has been useful for you. So what's been going on is that, I'll dive deeper into this if you are interested. The What's going on is that I have decided that, there's just so much time I can trade for money. And if I'm going to depend on selling, bankable hours, I'm probably never going to reach my wealth goal. And so I want to reach my wealth goal. But if I'm just going to focus on my wealth goal right now, I'm going to starve, right? Because the wealth goal, the machine or this entity that is going to be able to give me that wealth goal, it's something that's going to take time to build. And I have totally accepted that, right? It's not something that I could build like in 6 months and have it running. No, it's probably going to take me 2 years or 3 years to build this. But I'm in for the long haul, because, if not now, then when? Because I think, you know, the time has come for live stream to go mainstream. Hey, that sounds like a good tagline, right? Live stream mainstream. Now, live stream to go mainstream, because, one of the things that has been talked about when they talked about live stream is that many of these social media platforms, what they aim to do is that they aim to replace, the conventional TV, right? It's just like, now many of us would watch YouTube on TV, and we watch TV on our cell phone. So the way to think about it is that if you're able to produce, high quality live show, that is going to be phenomenally beneficial to a group of people, and they're going to follow you, and they're going to stay in that platform as long as you are, you know, online or live. Then um, it's it's probably going to be the thing that it's going to, take things to the next level. It's still running in my head, but yes, Claren, I agree. That's a great tagline, right? It's time for live stream to go mainstream. And so with that, I'm going to wrap up here. Um, by the way, I have, if you haven't heard, right, the biggest, or well, maybe not the biggest, but the talk of the town right now is Clubhouse, right? Clubhouse. So, you know, with the grace of my friend Rob, right? Rob Balabas, um, he was kind enough to extend the invitation to me, and so now I got a f- a toehold into Clubhouse. And so I have one invite to give out, right? I have one invite to send out. And so if you want that invite, I'm going to ask you to do one thing, right? One thing. One th- one thing that I'd like you to do is to leave a comment um, on the platform that you're watching it from. Leave a comment, and within that comment itself, let me know how you're going to be using Clubhouse and how you're going to be using that to further either your business or your personal brand, or how are you going to do it, right? How are you going to do it? And perhaps from that catalyst itself, we might be able to build a small community whereby we have like-minded people, and we have people who want to come together and to be using a platform that is audio, so it kind of frees you up in terms of being able to multitask, right? So if you like the invitation, make sure you leave the comment in on the whatever platform you're on, and share with me or anybody else, because someone else might see that, and they're gonna say, "Hey, you know what you're saying is really really cool. I'm gonna hit you up, and I'm gonna send you an invite." So, we never know. In any case, thank you for watching. Thank you, Clarence, for being here and giving me your support. I just love you as a friend. Just so great to have friends like you and many others here on LinkedIn. Uh, Thank you so much, and uh, hope your daughter is doing great, right? Let me know, and I'll be back here tomorrow, about the same time. And typically, I would live stream about the same time, and we'll talk about something else, a lesson that I learned while building my one person, 1 million all digital business. And with that, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.